7, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Good afternoon. You're welcome to join us for the next 30 minutes for a brand new program here at the Metroplex. It's called Metroplex Magazine, and every week we're going to be taking a look at different subjects of interest and excitement and entertainment all around the Metroplex. I can guarantee you if you stick with us, you're going to have a good time. Today, for instance, we're going to be talking with one of the top rock bands in the state of Texas. Their name is Savvy. May be familiar to you. They are the ones who were supposed to play with the Eagles during the Texas Jam last summer. Well, it didn't come off. We'll talk about that and among some other things. Also today, we'll take a look at something that Channel 27 is intimately involved with. That is pay television, a brand new, exciting entertainment form for the Metroplex. We'll have an interview with the general manager of Preview. As well, we'll take a look at a problem that a lot of concert goers have, and that is a big one, and it's also big business in the Metroplex, and that is ticket scalping on Kel Kern's Metroplex Magazine. Well, for a lot of rock groups in Texas, and boy, there are plenty of them in the state of Texas, the group Savvy is in an enviable position. They own their own nightclub. They play there 6 nights a week. They were selected last August to appear with the rock group Eagles, and even though it didn't come off, they probably got more publicity out of it than had it come off. And my special guests today on Metroplex Magazine are Mr. Rick Miller and Ricky Lynn, both of the rock group Savvy from Fort Worth, and it's a pleasure to have you guys with us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell me, what is it like trying to make it in Texas? And I know you guys have been at it for a long time, trying to make it in Texas in what is basically an industry located in Los Angeles.
Right. Well, it's real hard trying to make something happen here in Texas. As a matter of fact, we feel like that there is a lot happening here. But for some reason, the record companies and the people that make the records happen, like the companies in Los Angeles and New York, overlook the bands here in Texas and this area. And we really feel like that there's a lot happening here, and it should be noticed.
Well, Ricky, why don't you move to Los Angeles? Why not go there?
Well, I really think that within the next few years, the industry will be moving to Dallas. You know, the economy in California, as we all know, is just booming. The acts that we have here in Dallas, Fort Worth, all over Texas, as a matter of fact, are just tremendous.
Oh, absolutely.
And we all feel, and hopefully, praying that the industry will move to Dallas, Fort Worth, and shoot, there's no sense in why not.
Yeah. Well, talking with one of Texas's finest rock groups is good enough, but I know we've got a lot of fans watching out there that mostly want to hear the music. And so let's do that. We were at the nightclub a few nights ago, and we taped some of the songs. Boy, we had a great time. I'd like to tell you something about Savvy fans. They are absolutely fanatic. They just got, night after night after night, they show up for you guys.
Oh, yeah. It's packed just about every night at our place.
Okay, let's listen to one of their songs. It is an original, and it's called On My Own.
All right, this first Savvy song, written by Richard back here, it's called On My Own.
Dynamite. I love it. We'll be right back with more from the rock group Savvy. Also, we'll explain something to you that I know a lot of people are a little bit confused about, and that's the concept of pay television in Dallas. It's a new one. Stay with us. Back on Metroplex Magazine with our special guests, two members of the rock group Savvy, and we've got more of their music coming up later on in the program. The piece that we just saw, recorded at your own nightclub, who are the members of the band? Tell me about them.
Well, the piece of music you just saw was written by our bass player, Richard Jones. We have Dan Costura.
I saw Richard, who is kind of the quiet and intense, I would say. He doesn't really sing very much, but
he puts on his own little show on stage.
He really lays down those low tones.
He sure does. Keeps that bottom in.
Right.
Then we have, like I say, Dan Costura on the keyboards.
He's the newest member.
Right. He's been with the band now about 5 months. And Rich Mock on lead and rhythm guitar and vocals. And then we have Steve Jones, who plays rhythm guitar and sings. It's kind of confusing because we have a Rick, a Ricky, a Rich, and a Richard all in the band. And a Dan and a Steve. And a Marty and a Rabbit.
Hazardous telephone calling, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And you play drums.
I play drums. And Ricky here plays lead guitar. And
good lead guitar, I might add.
Oh, yeah.
And sings.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, matter of fact, the song that's coming up later, you'll be the lead singer on it, I believe, right? Yeah. Another thing we want to talk about this. There is an album of rock music, all of it recorded from the state of Texas, all Texas rock groups that came out last year. It's called Texas Crude, and in order for the various groups to get on this album, they had to be voted in by their fans. These fellows sitting next to me, the group Savvy, was voted #1. Tell me how that came about, guys.
Well, we had to submit a tape to Q102. There was over 400 entries. They narrowed out of the 400, they narrowed it down to 10, what they thought were the 10 best cuts from the tape. We happened to be one of the 10, and from there we went to a jam-off. They took the best 6 bands, and we came out on top, luckily, and the rest is history.
It's been progressively uphill since then. I take it, leading to the shot with the Eagles. Could you just very briefly tell me what happened there? We just got a few seconds. But
well, basically, like Rick was saying, we won the contest.
Yeah.
We went the day before to more or less get a stage set up to see how we would go on. We get there the next morning, and we get news that Irving Azoff had
their manager,
Eagles manager.
I've seen it on the back of albums.
Wouldn't let us go on, and it's real in depth. He wouldn't let a couple of other bands go on, either major acts, Sammy Hagar, April Wine, and eventually he let them go on. And when it came our turn to negotiate, there was no way he would let us go on.
Well, was it a matter of quality, or was it a matter of they were afraid the Eagles would be set back too late at night?
Well, that's basically it. He wanted a shorter show. He wanted a 4-act show. Louis Messina wanted more acts because the Texas Jam has always been more than.
Well, I guess the winner in all of that was probably Savvy, because they ended up getting more publicity and more word out of that whole thing than they would have had they played, probably.
We really did.
Yeah. We'll be back with more with Savvy in a moment. You know, rock and roll in the last decade, in the last 10, 15 years, has had a terrible record of people burning out, people dying young, people overdosing, and it's just such a fast, frenetic business. You know, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, well, you know, I don't have to tell you, you can go on and on and on and on. How do you guys do it 6 nights a week, night in and night out, and keep the drive there?
I guess just the love for the music, and just we're wanting to better our careers and just keep trucking up that ladder.
But you know, there are a lot of rock songs that kind of base themselves, hey, I'm a guitar player and I love my rock and roll and I'm going to die young and I don't care. Is that your attitude?
Not at all.
Not at all. It's dedication. You know, playing 6 nights a week, you kind of have to be like an athlete. You really have to stay physically and mentally in shape. And
you
that's
can
what
really
we
see
do.
that, I think, in some of the best performers, like Jagger, for instance. He's got to keep in shape for the stuff that he does. He's got to keep on top of it.
When you play for like an hour and a half at a time in one show, it's if you're not in shape.
And Ricky moves around a lot, let me tell you.
He shakes.
That's true.
Yeah, he shakes it.
Yeah. Well, enough talk. Let's do this. Let's take another listen. I know there's a lot of fans waiting to Savvy, and the next song we're going to listen to is A Long Way From Home with Ricky Lynn.
Yeah.
there's a You know, I kind of feel ambivalent about the issue of scalpers, because at the same time you know that they're ripping off the public. If you go to a concert, many times I've gone to a concert, we don't have a ticket, it's sold out. Well, we'll be able to get one if we go down. So I guess there's really two sides to the question. My special guests today have been Rick Miller and Ricky Lynn of the rock group Savvy, and we really appreciate you guys being with us today.
Thank you, Cal.
Thank you for having us.
I want you to be sure and check them out as soon as you can. They're a good group. They play 6 nights a week at their own club in Fort Worth called Savvy. On the 13th and 14th of February, they will be at the Agora Ballroom. Plus, they back up a lot of the major concert groups that come into the area. So keep looking for them. I think they're on their way up. Have a good afternoon.